What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. Start with the New Orleans Saints. As Klint Kubiak. I mean, this may be fair to say. I don't know that any coach in the state right now, in any sport, has as much expectation heaped on his shoulders than does Klint Kubiak. He is kind of the lone, bright, shining star of the Saints offseason, right? He is the reason why you are trying to convince yourself that maybe Derek Carr can give you some juice this year. Maybe you can win the NFC South because it was all Pete Carmichael's fault, right? Right. Well, Klint Kubiak is going to be the man to potentially answer that. And we got some media availability as he sat down with, who was it, Mike Hoss and Deuce McAllister on WWL?
Yep, WWL.
So shout out my old compatriots over there. But we finally hear from Klint Kubiak, and it's interesting because basically we have, in talking about Kubiak, Jake, we've done this thing where we just say his name, but really we're saying Shanahan in our brain, right? And I don't know that's fair for him to live up to. So let's hear from the man himself. Here is Klint Kubiak on his offensive philosophy.
Well, I think we just want to be grounded and run the football. We want to have an identity that we can run the ball versus 8-man fronts, and that's something we're going to stress to our guys early in the offseason and, building our play actions and building, moving the pocket off of that and trying to be a really good team on first and second down. So that'll be kind of stuff we're dialed in on here in phase 1 and phase 2.
Ooh, Jake, running against 8-man boxes. How are we feeling, dude?
It's something I know very well, something you know very well.
Hell yeah.
From our playing days. Saints ran against a lot of 8-man boxes over the last couple of seasons. Alvin Kamara probably looks up and says, oh, not again. But your hope is the thing that is different when you hear a coach say that is we know that we can actually get to another running play. It is not going to just be inside zone, right? We see an 8-man box, we can have 2 runs. And so oftentimes when you hear a quarterback come up to the line of scrimmage and he's saying Kansas or Kiel, he's going from a run to a pass or a pass to a run. But sometimes also you can have 2 run plays in there. Now it's rare, but some offensive coordinators will do that as well. And so, hey, we're going to run zone to this side. We don't have the numbers. And for the last couple of years, the Saints would just run it anyways. But maybe you go to the other side and maybe it's, a gap scheme or maybe it's a toss. Maybe it's something different. You can have multiple runs up, or if it's, hey, we're checking to the shade, we're checking to the 3 technique. It just feels like the Saints didn't do any of that. It's like, hey, here's the play it's called. We're going to get up here, we're going to run it, and it's going to be against an 8-man box and a bad look for us. And it's also going to put our offensive line in a bad situation. That's something we don't talk enough about with the Saints' offensive line is some of their run game was so basic and had no ability to move to something else that they had to go against boxes that they should never have that run game live against.
Well, and it was so bad that you had Eric McCoy at the end of the year being like, yeah, we started calling play action, and it made it easier. So I actually kind of sneakily love this Shanahan-esque answer from Coobs here as, I don't want all the eggs to be in the Derek Carr basket. Derek Carr is a quarterback that can be very good if you make life easier on him. And the best way to make life easier on him is to run the ball. And Jake, what separates the great NFL offensive lineman from the not so great? The ability to pass block. So if you want to be more run for, that's just easier as an O-lineman. Run blocking is just flat out easier. And so if that can be your identity and you can find more success there, I think it kind of sets everything else up for success on the other end. Go ahead.
The Saints had 28.2 rushes per game, which was 10th in the NFL. San Francisco had 29.4 rush attempts, and they were 6th. So they came in at 6th. Saints came in at 10th. I'm trying to look up how many more yards the 49ers had as a team than the Saints. I mean, that number is not even going to really be close. And so the Saints wanted to run the football. They wanted to have an identity. They just didn't have it. Right, so San Francisco was 3rd with 140.5 yards per game. And the New Orleans Saints were 23.
Yeah, and
attempts pretty close. Third, 23.
To me, that just reeks of philosophy more so than anything in how you were getting to run the ball, and that's the great hope with Kubes. Here is Klint Kubiak on his new quarterback, Derek Carr.
I think Derek's is a really good athlete. I think he's extremely accurate with the ball. You know, he's played a lot of football, and obviously a huge part of me getting to come here was the chance to get to work with him. And I've observed him from a long time, you know, just following the league, and he's a quarterback I have a lot of respect for, and just my short time with him has been really impressive. And number one, his intellect and what he can handle and what he can carry upstairs, but just those guys going out throwing and catching right now, that he's in really good shape. You know, it's really important to him to be a great player, and it's really important to me and our coaches that we give him a successful system that he can have, you know, he can build some confidence in.
Pretty empty answer there.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, look, Kubiak finally getting his chance to be the NFL OC, you're going to take whoever your quarterback is, and you're going to say those things about him. And then finally, here is Kubiak on the 49ers red zone and third down efficiency.
Speaking first to the red zone, you know, it's not one thing. It's being able to run the ball down there, and that's having an identity, you know, getting to run the ball and having success there on base downs in the red zone, so you're not getting into 3rd and 6 from the 6, 3rd and 10 from the 10. Those are tough downs. You want to try to avoid those. You want to score on your base downs. So I think that's something that Coach Shanahan really harped on with those guys. As far as the third down, you know, that's a whole nother set of deals, but it's a team game, and we had a lot of really good players on offense, and it all started with them having great protection up front, good decision maker, quarterback, and weapons on the outside. So it's all about the players, and we as coaches just got to put an organized plan together for them.
Well, all about the players may be a bit scary, as the Saints' offensive talent is kind of pockmarked at best. But look, third down efficiency and kind of what he's getting in red zone, that's just all about staying on schedule, setting yourself up for third and manageable, not being in one-dimensional third and long situations, and that would kind of go back to an ability to run the ball consistently.
Yeah, so how do you get that done? And T's right, staying on schedule. What does that mean? That means that on 1st and 2nd down, I run the football, and if I get stuffed at the line of scrimmage, we look up, it's 3rd and 8 or it's 3rd and 9 because we didn't do what we had to do in our early downs. The Saints were 31st in the NFL, 3.6 yards per carry. Okay, they're one of the worst rushing teams in the NFL. San Francisco was 3rd in the NFL at 4.9 yards per carry. So everything is telling you now they've got Christian McCaffrey. I understand that. But you also have Alvin Kamara. He's not McCaffrey, but he's a good running back. And I think you could utilize him better. I think he has a skill set where he can do multiple things, and you were trying to get him to do really one thing. Now, the offensive front, they have to be better, but also they have to be put in better situations. The tight ends, right? Like, you come into this as well. Like, if Juwan Johnson's going to be in there, he has got to be better at the Y position.
Yep.
It can't be, hey, Foster Moreau's in this game, he's the Y, they're running. Hey, Juwan Johnson's in the game, he's the F, they're throwing. Like, you can't fall into tendencies as well. So there's a lot of different factors that play into it, but it does start, and Kubiak just said it there, it starts with running the football, being effective. On 1st down, it's 1st and 10. Let's go get 4 yards. Now it's 2nd and 6, and now we have more available to us. Do we want to run the football again down here in the red area, turn it into 3rd and 2? Do we want to throw a check down, turn it into 3rd and 1? Like, you have multiple options. Or you can take a shot because now, you know, you have the ability to do so because you're not going to be 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. So the Saints, like, everything that they want to do is going to be set up off the run because that's where he's coming from. That's what he knows. San Francisco ran the football and did enough in the passing game to be able to make it a little bit easier on themselves. But you can't be 31st in the NFL in yards per carry. Your personnel tells you should be better than that as well. They draft an offensive lineman because he is a mauler. He is a run blocker. Although he didn't give up a sack, which still, T-Bob and I agree, they don't talk about that enough. And you've got to get Trevor Penning up to a level where he at least can do that. You know what I mean?
100%. Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the two guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.